You did a really big interview with, and I think, did you partner with Grillo to release it?
Yeah.
What was that interview? That was with the guy who basically was Damaso Lopez, right? He was partners with El Chapo.
Yeah.
Or he was started out as his security. El Chapo, like, he gained his trust over the years, however long it was, and then eventually El Chapo made a deal with him saying, if I ever get pinched or if I ever get killed, you're going to take my spot.
Yeah, exactly.
And this guy that you met with was his son.
Yes.
Got it.
So
How did that come
basically,
about?
the Damasos started off when El Chapo escaped for the first time from prison in Mexico, right?
He helped him escape.
He was the director of the prison. He was an attorney, and he was the director of that prison.
Right.
So he helped El Chapo escape. So when El Chapo escaped, he knew they were going to come after him. So El Chapo offered him a job. He's like, okay, after I'm gone, come and look for me in Sinaloa, and I'll give you a job. And he made this guy, Damaso Lopez Núñez, El Licenciado, he made him his right hand in the cartel on his faction, right? So he was basically calling the shots. Like, even though I'm gonna get a lot of these comments saying, no, dude, he was never a shot caller, whatever. He was the brains behind El Chapo. Right? El Chapo will consult everything to him. It was like,
really?
Okay, what do we do? We're facing this and that. And he was a smart man. He was a fucking attorney. So he will say like, okay, let's not go into a fight. Let's do this. Or let's go into a fight. Let's form a new group. Let's move money here and there. He was El Chapo's right hand, his most trusted man. And they became compadres, basically. He was the godfather to his sons, and Damaso was godfather to Los Chapitos.
Right.
So they were family, basically,
Yeah.
right? They were embedded with them. They were family. They grew up together. The son of Damaso Lopez Núñez, Damaso Lopez Serrano, El Minilik, he was basically part of Los Chapitos. They grew up together. He was best friends with Alfredo. He was best friends with Edgar, the youngest of Los Chapitos. And eventually, when El Chapo got kidnapped,
Was he friends with, was El Minilik good friends with
Ovidio. And Ivan Archibaldo, all those guys. They literally grew up together. He was best friends with El Mayo's son as well, Del Mayo Gordo.
Oh, wow.
So he was like, there was a pack of narco juniors, basically owning the whole fucking state of Sinaloa. And so what happened is when they arrested El Chapo and he got extradited, he sent a letter to Damaso, to El Licenciado, saying that all of the money was for his 4 kids and his wife, Emma Coronel, right? But the organization, he was going to leave that in the hand of the Damasos, right? The Lik and El Minilik. Probably it was a smart move.
Wait. So the money, meaning the money that they already had, cash, or the income that the business was bringing in?
I guess both. Like the cash that he already had, the properties, all that shit. Because on the letter, what he said, it was like, you already have enough money. Just get out of this shit. Live your life. You have more than enough to his kids and his wife. You live your life. You have more than enough to live a good life, and leave the organization in the hands of Damaso. Right? It was probably a smart move because El Chapo probably thought that this was coming, this war against Los Chapitos, and that they're going to end like him, extradited to the U.S., facing life sentences and that kind of shit. So he didn't want that for his kids. He's like, well, you know what? Like, let El Licenciado take the fucking heat, and you guys retire and leave well. Well, they didn't want to do that. They were like, fuck no, the organization is ours. We're the head of the organization right now. They didn't listen to his dad, and they started fighting against the Damasos, against their godfather, basically, the one in charge. For what I understand, Damaso El Licenciado tried to negotiate, right? He tried to say, guys, this is what your dad wants to happen to the organization. I don't want to fight with you. But then they started, killing his henchmen, killing his security people.
And the Chapito started killing his?
Started killing his for what Minilik told me, his version of the story. And every time they will come after them saying like, hey, why are you killing our people? They're like, oh, dude, it was a mistake. Sorry. My guys were like really high or really drunk, whatever. But I'm going to give them a lesson. Sorry about that. And they keep doing it. Until Damaso Lopez Serrano, El Minilik, got fed up with it. And he talked to his dad. He's like, dude, I'm going to go all in against Los Chapitos. Fuck it. His dad was like, dude, we don't need a fight. We don't want to fight between a family, within a single faction. Let's just solve this out. He gathered a group of other cartel members from everywhere, even from like mafia people from Canada, like from everywhere, that they hated on Los Chapitos, right? So he gathered a group, made a WhatsApp group, and said like, hey, we need to get rid of these fuckers. Like, they're just making too much waves here in Sinaloa. We don't want them. What do we do? So they started planning. And by the birthday of the oldest, Ivan Archibaldo Guzman, he was celebrating in Guadalajara, Zapopan, at this fancy restaurant. And they kidnapped the 4 sons of El Chapo. The order was to kill them, right? But El Mayo got in the middle. They tried to negotiate. And then El Chapo was in prison in Ciudad Juarez, right at the border between El Paso, Texas, and Mexico. And from there...
Oh, this is before he was extradited.
Before he was... 2017, probably a couple of months before he was extradited. 2016, I'm sorry. So he called... He managed to get the news from the guards there. Mm-hmm. And he requested a call. So he called a prison in Jalisco, where El Cholo, his right hand, his henchman, El Cholo, was arrested. And he said like, hey, Cholo, I know you get along well. We get along well with El Mencho's people, whatever. I know that El Mencho's, the head of the Jalisco cartel, New Generation, I know that his son is in prison with you and you're friends. But you know what? This is no time to make friends. I need you to kidnap him inside prison to make him disappear until they let my kids go. So El Cholo went after the son of El Mencho inside prison, kidnapped the kid, made the director of that prison call El Mencho and said like, hey, dude, your kid is nowhere to be found. And this is a message to you. As soon as you free my kids that are kidnapped, I'll free yours.
Meaning Los Chapitos.
Okay. So basically El Mencho was like, I'm not part of this shit, but it's my turf, right? It's Guadalajara, it's Jalisco. This is my turf. So he ordered the Chapitos freed. So they had to free them, and then they freed his son inside prison, right? And that's how they literally declared war against each other.
Wow.
Los Chapitos against Damaso. Mm-hmm. Los Chapitos eventually managed to get a lot of like more power and overpower the Damasos. And Damaso was arrested in Mexico City. Damaso dad, El Licenciado, was arrested in Mexico City.
What year was he arrested?
I think it was 2017.
Okay.
And then months after, Minilik couldn't hold his turf,
right.
So he went for the border in Calexico and turned himself over to the DEA. He has been talking with the DEA for a while now, and he had been like planning on turning himself over so he can give information against Los Chapitos. And now he's the main guy behind the hunt against Los Chapitos, because he served for 5 years. They released him. He's free. He's not under WITSEC. He's not under witness protection or whatever. He's just the main source of information.
He's not under witness protection at all?
No, he's not. They're protecting him. The DEA is protecting him.
The DEA is protecting him.
But he's not. He never signed as a WITSEC. He's not signed in as a WITSEC.
How much protection could you possibly get from the DEA?
Not sure, man. Not sure. But when I met him, I could tell that there were a couple of agents around the place we met.
Oh, really?